Speak as closely into the microphone as you can and switch off your microphone immediately afterwards. And observe the appropriate standards of courtesy in debate. If there is an emergency, please turn left out of the chamber, follow the green emergency exit signs to the main town hall entrance and assemble in St George's Square. Please note, members of the public present are entitled to take photographs, film, audio record and report on the business held in public, but must not act in a disruptive manner. If they do so, they may be asked to leave. Right, so first item of business. Members will be aware of the sad death of former councillor Don Welding on the 8th of December 2025. Councillor Welding was first elected to the council in May 1996 for the Bramingham ward until May 2003, when he was elected the ward councillor for Northwell. He retired in May 2019. Councillor Welding was appointed deputy mayor in 1997 and served as the mayor for the municipal year 2021 to 2022. He was appointed chair of Constitution Committee in 2005 and Regulation Committee in 2012. Other committees that Councillor Don Welding was a member of included Administration Committee, Standards, Overview and Scrutiny and Licensing. On behalf of the council, I wish to express our sincere condolences on the passing of the late former mayor and councillor Don Welding. Does any member wish to speak? Councillor Simmons.
Mayor, it's great sadness that I stand up tonight to talk about Don. I worked with him for many years. He was on the council and a councillor for 23 years and a very loyal Labour Party member. His health during most of that time was not at its best, and as he got older it got worse, but he continued with his role, and I think he's a great tribute to being somebody who looked to do the right thing for the community that he served. He was a great representative for that, and it's with great sadness that we stand here tonight to know of his passing. And I'm sure all our thoughts are with his wife and the rest of his friends and family.
Councillor Roach.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On behalf of the Northwell councillors, myself, Madam Mayor, Councillor Babatunde Adesola, I would like to express our sincere condolences to Don's wife, Moira, and their family at this sad time, and pay tribute to Don's decades of service to our town, the Labour Party, and particularly to the people of Mars Farm. May he rest in peace. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak? Okay, thank you. So I'd like to ask the council to please stand in silent tribute for 1 minute in memory of former mayor and councillor Don Welding. You may be seated. Right, thank you. So we will now have a presentation by the Luton Youth Council. So I'd like to invite the Chair and Vice Chair of Luton Youth Council to make a presentation. Please come forward. Please note that we will be inviting questions from members at the end of the presentation, up to a total time of 30 minutes. Okay, thank you. I think they need a microphone. So. Okay, perfect.
Good evening, everybody. Shifra and I are incredibly grateful to have been given the opportunity to not only attend a full council meeting, but also update you all on our progress this past year. We have accomplished so much across our campaigns, which is really exciting, in addition to participating in several events. To remind you all, when the Youth Council first came together, we decided on our three main campaigns being mental health, domestic abuse, and disability awareness. To begin, we wanted to summarize our progress in each.
Following the success of our Wellbeing Cafe, which I mentioned last year, we've moved on to the next aspect of mental health we feel young people care about most, school provision. Earlier last year, in the Family Hub space, we hosted a fundraising Wellbeing Cafe. This was held alongside Poets Inn, which is a creative mental health charity. During this event, there were a number of interactive activities that many young people in our community participated in. Towards the end of 2025, we submitted a form for students to fill in, which returned with a variety of responses. Over the past few weeks, members of this campaign have analysed and collated data based on these responses. And as we speak, our campaign lead, Tony, who's in the audience today, is gathering our analysis to formulate a school's mental health checklist, made by young people, used by young people, benefiting young people. We received just under 100 responses from various secondary schools and colleges. Therefore, we believe this checklist will be truly indicative of the viewpoints of young people on in-school mental health support across Luton.
Now I'm going to discuss our progress within our domestic abuse campaign. So throughout the year, the Youth Council has participated in a number of events to raise awareness of domestic abuse, from our young people to older individuals. This was through our stall in Luton Point, in which we had a number of activities, but our primary one was when we formed a number of green and red flags in relationships, which we asked people to identify themselves. This was to raise awareness of certain behaviours in relationships which can foster and end up becoming abusive. In addition to this, regarding the Raising Red and Flying Green campaign, members worked alongside this organisation to raise awareness of domestic violence, which are projected in numerous areas across Luton Town, and podcast filming. Alongside the Mary Seacole Housing Association, a few members of the council, one being the campaign lead of domestic abuse, Anaya, discussed with other professionals in this area the impacts of domestic violence, support for domestic violence victims, and other very insightful information.
As for the Disability Awareness campaign, we are on a steady road to hosting an all-inclusive art campaign during the February half-term. This is a self-love focused, youth-targeted event that centres around the theme of Valentine's Day. We look forward to welcoming Councillor Celine to the event and young people from all across Luton for a supportive and empowering art event benefiting young people with various needs.
If we were to stand here to describe everything we've done, and since we last attended a full council meeting, a few people may start falling asleep. Therefore, we wanted to share some highlights and some of the most exciting things the Youth Council has participated in.
If you remember, last full council, I informed you of our involvement in Youth Fest. You may also remember, for anyone who was there, the unusual July downpour. Nevertheless, we tried our best to engage with anyone who did attend, and we were grateful for the opportunity to meet the Deputy Sheriff of Bedfordshire. I also mentioned the Big Beds United collaboration. We've now officially decided our joint campaign will be focused on period poverty, and we look forward to developing it this Saturday in Bedford.
We also have some very exciting news that many of you may have noticed. The Youth Council has been officially added to the Children's Services Scrutiny Board. Other exciting events we have participated in over the past 6 months, including attending a stop and search consultation, hosting the Hope Hack, a member of the Youth Council, Yusuf, speaking in the House of Parliament, facilitating the Student Council's conference last year, and finally becoming the new Youth Council yesterday, who start in May, and you will hopefully meet this year, July.
Considering this may be the last time we speak to you, we'd like to thank you for all the times you invited us to full council and any other council events, and look forward to welcoming any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A wonderful and succinct presentation. So any questions for our youth council, please? Okay, Councillor Burnett.
Yeah, thank you so much for your presentation. You've done really, really well. My question is around domestic violence and period poverty. What do you both think we could do as a local council that hasn't been done already to advance both issues? Domestic violence to women, you know, we are the ones who bring life, but sadly to say it's been growing, and also with the period poverty. So I would like to hear your thoughts on both issues. What else we as the 48 and our officers could do to improve things on those issues. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm not too good at this microphone. So regarding domestic violence and period poverty, I think both of them, as we all know, are very stigmatized issues. And I think that's the most important thing, breaking that barrier between the victims, the people, and the oppressors, because I think those are issues that are very prevalent within our communities, but I don't think there's being enough discussion around it. I know that's something that we all probably understand, but I think that's just the forefront of like a campaign against it. I think with domestic violence, not necessarily to create a pessimistic mood, but across young people, I think it's really important that they kind of understand, as we were talking about with the Raising Red and the Flying Green campaign, really raising those kind of bad signs within relationships, because usually when it comes to domestic violence and abuse, it doesn't start just straight away. You know, you don't get, I don't mean to be violent, but like thrown across the room straight away. It usually fosters from like certain red flags in a relationship that end up escalating and can kind of have a serious detriment against a person. So I think what's most important is in young people calling that out. I think there needs to be discussions in school. I know that organizations do come in, but I think the best thing is to be more engaging to young people. You know, with like the growth of technology, if I'm being honest, our attention spans aren't that long. I don't think organizations coming in, I don't think someone sitting in presentation for an hour talking at us is really helping. There's a lot of stigma around it. So I think that's what's most important across females, but also across men as well, because men are victims of domestic violence. They are victims of domestic abuse, and I think that's even more problem in itself. So I think that's really important. I think period poverty at the same time, there needs to be more discussions. Women make up nearly 50% of the world's population, yet certain men don't understand things about periods. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying there's something wrong with you. I'm just saying that even though it's something that nearly half of the world's population deal with, it's not really a conversation that needs to be had. So I think providing resources within school, making girls feel safe and assured that nothing's wrong with them, and also certain things with periods. And for example, there are certain like conditions that women may have, but they don't understand because there's not enough education about it. So school is most important thing. That's where most young people will be in their childhood. And if you allow them to kind of grow those mindsets from a very young age, they can then grow and develop and understand, have a more conscious mind of those issues, and then therefore can go in the future and help other people.
Yeah. Councillor Sleen.
Thank you. As you know, Luton is an exceptionally young town. We're, I think, under the age of 15, 23%. Nationally, it's 18%. This microphone's not very good. You've had this wonderful experience where you've been youth councillors. Will you and your colleagues seriously consider representing our young people within this chamber and becoming councillors yourselves?
I think I bragged about this to my family when I was like, I'm going to be a counsellor when I'm 18. So my answer is yes. I plan on applying to become a counsellor when I'm 18. I love the experience that I've had, and I want to continue that onwards. And obviously we've got a new youth council cohort coming, so we're like spreading that across more young people. And it's really nice to just see this room, and I imagine sitting in that seat and another young counsellor sitting here and talking, and I'm like, yeah, go you, that kind of thing. Would you like to add?
I always wanted to say that I'd be interested too, because I already have a passion for like government and policy making, and it's something that I'd actually want to pursue in the future. So I feel like in this role, it's a lot better because you get to have that one-on-one conversations with people. I feel like as you go higher in the chain, even though there's that elevated position, it's a lot more difficult to have those personal conversations with people. So I definitely think that being a counsellor, becoming a counsellor, being in that role can really help me have those conversations with people, really understand people's problems, and then therefore you can create resolutions. So I would absolutely love to.
Have we got any further questions, Councillor Hussain?
Thank you for an excellent presentation. It was really, excellent, and it shows the passion. And young people are our future. My one question for yourself on the disability: what one ask of the council would you ask to improve disability? Because obviously disability comes in many forms. But if there was one thing we could do to improve the lives of people with disabilities, what would be your ask?
I think when it comes to disabilities, obviously we all know that some of them are physical, but there are also non-physical disabilities. But that's not spoken about. I mean, until you're in like high school, you don't even know what an invisible disability is. And it's like, well, I should have known that because people around me have those, but I don't know what they are. So I think making it normal at a younger age, for example, you have many like children in infant school who will be able to identify a person in a wheelchair and they'll label them disabled. However, they wouldn't be able to identify someone who might be behaving a little differently, not because they're abnormal, but just because they're a bit different, and that doesn't change anything about them, to be honest. So I think if we just normalize conversations about invisible disabilities from a younger age, then that would automatically mean that when we're growing up, there'll be less bullying for young people who may have an invisible disability or be neurodivergent, because it will be normalized from a young age. They know the support they need. So instead of having to suppress or mask like many people have to, they can just be open about who they are. It's a big part of identity, I think, and we shouldn't overshadow that because it's difficult to see or something like that.
I think also, I know that there are quite a few people across Luton who have disabilities, but I don't always believe that the town and schools and like certain big parts of of Luton necessarily have like materials and resources for like disabled people to have. I don't think all places like have lifts and like escalators, even the train station as well. It's not that accessible. So I know it's like an expensive expenditure. I understand that it's not like we just want to buy this, we can get started. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of planning required, but I think that's really important so people actually feel safe, because when you have a disability, you alone already different from other people, but to then not have the resources that you actually need just strenuates that divide between people. And I think that's really unfair. I think it can just kind of create those self-esteem issues. People feel even more different, even more marginalized from society. So I think that's absolutely important. And as Shifa said, just like more education around it. People really need to understand that disabilities are prevalent. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. I'm pretty sure Einstein had a disability, you know, he's really famous too. So I think that's what's most important, and just conversation around it really.
Councillor Lovell?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think that we can clap all evening and sit here listening to you. I just want to thank you both and your colleagues as well for choosing domestic abuse as one of your focus this cohort. I must say that I was quite surprised when you did, that you did, and it was interesting. And thank you for all the great work that you've done, with us. And I hope that you will continue advocating for that. That would be able to work, even though you've finished. I mean, the next group, they've got big shoes to fill in, but I'm sure that you'll be supportive, of them. So from all the domestic abuse team, thank you, and keep flying, raising red and flying green for the town. Thank you.
But it's been a wonderful 2 years, and this sounds like a goodbye. It's not really a goodbye. I'm probably gonna I've got children's services next week, I think, or whatever. Anyway, it's been really nice working with you. Thank you so much for having us. It's been wonderful. Thank you for all the councillors that allowed youth councillors to shadow them, for supporting us in our campaigns, for attending. It's been really wonderful to know all of you. So thank you so much.
Right. Do we have any final questions before we wrap up? No? Okay, lovely. Well, I'd just like to take this moment to put on record my thanks for all of your hard work over these 2 years. If you don't get to present in this chamber again before you're done, it's always so inspiring to speak to our youth councillor and have young people shadow me. So thank you so much from all of the council for undertaking this important public service and representing other young people. Right, thank you so much for attending, and you're more than welcome to stay or more than welcome to go home. Thank you. So, the first item of business is to receive the minutes of the meeting of the council held on the 23rd of September 2025, which is set out on pages 4 to 12. Do all members agree to these minutes as an accurate record? Yep. Okay. So unless any member objects, I will assume all members are in agreement. So now we have apologies for absence. Are there any apologies?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we have apologies from councillors Advisola, Chowdhury, Keynes, Stevens and James Taylor.
Thank you. Councillor Baker.
There's also a late apology from Zanib Raja.
Thank you. So, members, please note that voting this evening will be by exception. Rather than calling out each member's name to record their vote, I will ask members to indicate if they wish to vote against a motion. If no member votes against, I'll declare the item carried. The outcomes will not be recorded in the minutes unless 6 members of the council indicate that they wish for this to happen in accordance with Standing Order 21.2. Right, Mayor's announcements. So I'm hosting a fundraising Burns Night Supper on the 13th of February at Partridgebury from 6 p.m. It's going to be a wonderful evening of celebration, and it'd be an honour to have as many of you join me to help raise some funds for my mayor's charities. You should hopefully have received an email inviting you, but please do get in touch with the secretary as soon as possible to purchase your ticket. Alongside this, next week, we will be hosting a Holocaust memorial service for Luton, which has been organised to take place on Tuesday, the 27th of January 2026 at 4:30 p.m. outside the town hall. All members are welcome to attend. It's going to be a short vigil. Okay. And then also please note that I intend to bring an item of urgent business under agenda item 5 in relation to membership of various council bodies.
All members of the council have been circulated with a list of items before the council this evening, which fall within the ambit of section 106 of the Local Government Finance Act 1992. Any member effective should disclose the fact and refrain from voting on any question relating to those items. Madam Mayor, I can confirm no section 106 disclosures have been received this evening. With regards to disclosures of interest, I can also confirm there are no detailed disclosures of interest that have been received this evening.
So the next item is a matter of urgent business dealing with the membership of committees and other bodies. I call upon Councillor Amjad Ali to move this recommendation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll move the recommendation set out at paragraph 2 on the urgent report circulated around the council chamber.
Is the motion seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay. Any amendments? Okay. Does any member wish to speak to this motion? So the motion is before the council. Does any member vote against the proposal? Okay, the motion is carried. I now move to the recommendation as set out in paragraph 2 on pages 13, which is the report of Standards Committee. Oh, I'm supposed to move it, sorry. I now move the recommendation as set out in paragraph 2 on pages 13. Is the motion seconded? Thank you. Are there any questions? Very much. Are there any amendments? Does any member wish to speak to the motion? Perfect. So the motion is before the council. Does any member vote against? Thank you very much. Okay, so the motion is carried. So we have the report of the Bedfordshire Fire and Rescue Authority. So the next item is report of the Bedfordshire Fire and Rescue Authority as set out on pages 31 to 35. I call upon Councillor Burnett to present the report.
Evening all, and thank you, Madam Mayor. The papers are before you. There's just some key points I think that would be really good to bring to your attention and to make you aware is that we've had our inspection, it's in the report. So we had our HMRC FRS inspection. The report, we will not know the outcome of it in March. And that's really, really important. And I just thought it'd be useful to let you all know that Bedfordshire, along with 2 other fire authorities, were the first in a new framework. So the framework builds on what's been done previously. This is round 4. There have been more focus on culture, and also governance has been looked at extensively compared to previous inspections. So I thought I would just bring that to your attention. I did also attend on page 31 the agency preparedness for marauding terrorist attack at Papworth. That was really enlightening. What our frontline services provide, emergency services, and what conditions they work in. So I just thought it was useful to bring that to your attention. That is it for now. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Burnett. So is the motion seconded? Thank you. Are there any questions on the content of the report only? No? Okay, thank you. Does the council receive the report? Okay. So unless any member objects, I will assume all members are in agreement. Okay. So there are no written questions to the Bedfordshire Fire and Rescue Authority this evening. So the next item of business on the agenda is agenda item 10.1, which has been circulated separately, related to the recommendations arising from the executive meeting held on the 12th of January 2026 on setting the council tax base for the 2026-2027. So I call upon Councillor Rob Roach to please move the recommendations.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move the recommendation set out paragraph 1 and on 2 on page 1 of the enclosure report circulated separately. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Is the motion seconded?
Seconded, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Are there any amendments? Okay. Does any member wish to speak to the motion? No. Okay. The motion is before the council. Does any member vote against the proposal? Perfect. So the motion is carried. So we now have the annual report of the Audit and Governance Committee, which is set out on pages 36 to 49. Would Councillor Burnett please move the recommendation?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move the recommendation set out at paragraph 2 on page 36.
Thank you. Is the motion seconded? Thank you. Are there any questions? Are there any amendments? No. Does any member wish to speak to the motion? Okay, the motion is before the council. Does any member vote against the proposal? Thank you. So the motion is carried. So we now have a report from Democratic Services, which is agenda item 12.1 on the membership of committees. It's about a replacement member of the Audit and Governance Committee as set out on page 50. Would Councillor Simmons please move the recommendation?
It's self-explanatory, so I move the report.
Thank you very much. Is the motion seconded?
Seconded, Madam Mayor.
Are there any questions? Are there any amendments? Does any member wish to speak to the motion? Okay, the motion is before the council. Does any member vote against the proposal? Okay, the motion is carried. Right. And with that, that concludes the business of the evening. So thank